They didn't lose control in a single moment. They lost it the moment they believed control was permanent. A cure was supposed to save a dying mind, restore memory, restore dignity, and for a while, it worked. But intelligence doesn't stop where we tell it to. It grows, learns, watches. This isn't the story of an outbreak. It's the story of a hand reaching too far and another hand learning how to reach back. The story begins with Will Rodman. He is a pharmaceutical chemist and biomedical researcher working at the lab. He works on treatments for neurodegenerative diseases. Alzheimer's doesn't arrive loudly. It steals memories, then names, then faces, and Will watches it claim his father night after night. So when Will develops a gene therapy designed to repair damaged neural pathways, his ambition isn't just professional, it's personal. The drug is called ALZ-112. On chimpanzees, it works. Not gradually, immediately. Memory improves. Problem-solving accelerates. Awareness sharpens. One chimp in particular changes dramatically. Bright eyes. She completes puzzles faster than expected. The data is undeniable. She isn't just improving, she's becoming sharper than she was before. Executives arrive because a cure isn't just medicine, it's money and power, and the day of the presentation is meant to keep it contained. Behind the glass, Bright Eyes waits in her cage, a test subject to everyone else, proof to Will. As handlers move Bright Eyes toward the demonstration, one reaches for the cage, and she erupts in sudden, violent panic. The handlers stumble back. One falls. The other tries to force the door shut again, too late. Bright Eyes knocks it open, tearing out of the cage in a blur of muscle and adrenaline. Shouts echo down the hall as alarms blare and radios crackle, calling security in. Bright Eyes is already moving, sprinting down the corridor, every instinct driving her forward. Behind the observation glass, executives begin the presentation, charts up, smiles set. Bright Eyes hits the glass at full speed. Will pleads, but security fires. She falls. Silence. The miracle is dead. Stephen Jacobs, the profit-driven CEO of Genesis Laboratories, shuts the program down. ALZ-112 is declared unstable and too dangerous to continue. A shaken handler stops Will, holding a newborn chimp. Bright Eyes was pregnant, protecting her baby. Ordered to kill the rest, he couldn't do this one. Will takes the infant without hesitation. They name him Caesar after the Roman emperor. 3 years go by. Caesar grows quickly. He watches everything, hands opening doors, faces changing expression, voices shifting tone. Nothing is explained to him, but he learns anyway. ALZ-112 didn't just change Bright Eyes, it changed what she passed on. Around the same time, Will makes another decision. He brings ALZ-112 home and gives it to his father. The result is immediate and miraculous. His father recognizes him, speaks clearly, and sits down at the piano he loves, untouched for years, and plays perfectly. Curiosity draws Caesar outside and into a neighbor's yard, where a little girl screams and her father strikes him with a bat, injuring his leg. Will takes him to a zoo veterinarian named Caroline. Will thinks she's cute. Caesar notices immediately. So Caesar does what any wingman would do.
What's she saying now?
He thinks that you and I should have dinner together.
Not long after, they head north to the redwoods. Caesar feels alive in a way he's never known. He launches into the trees, climbing fast and sure, moving branch to branch as if his body finally remembers where it belongs. For the first time, he isn't hiding, tested, or watched through glass. 5 years pass. Caroline and Will stay together. Caesar grows taller, stronger, sharper, learning tone, intent, and emotion, responding not to commands, but to meaning. Watching Will protect his father at any cost, he understands something fundamental. Humans will break rules to save the ones they love. But as he grows older, questions surface. First on a hiking trail, when a dog barks and Caesar growls back. Caesar asks Will if he's just a pet. Will tells him the truth. He isn't owned. He was raised, protected, loved like a son. To help him understand, Will takes Caesar to the lab and tells him the truth about the experiment and his mother. Caesar learns his life began in a cage and that she died protecting him. The weight settles in. Not long after, everything collapses. One afternoon, while Will is away, his father's Alzheimer's fully returns. Disoriented, he climbs into a neighbor's car and manages to drive it forward, crashing into another parked vehicle. The noise brings the neighbor outside, furious and confused. He marches toward Will's father, shouting and demanding answers from a man who no longer understands what's happening. Caesar hears the confrontation and runs outside. Seeing someone he loves being threatened, he attacks the neighbor to protect him. The struggle is sudden and violent, and it ends when Caesar bites off one of the man's fingers. That single moment changes everything. Caesar is removed from the home and sent to a primate sanctuary. The sanctuary isn't a refuge, but a holding facility built for containment, not care. Concrete floors, metal cages, animals trained to submit. Dodge Landon enforces order through intimidation and pain, taking pleasure in reminding the apes how powerless they are. Not long after, Will visits the sanctuary. The change in Caesar is immediate. He stands rigid now. His eyes are colder, guarded. He's still listening, but the trust between them is thinner. Will promises he'll fix this. At first, Caesar thinks he's alone. The others don't accept him right away. He's new, different, and unproven. But Caesar doesn't force control. He watches, waits, and acts only when it matters. Then he notices the older orangutan in a neighboring cage, quiet and observant in a way the others aren't. Carefully, Caesar begins to sign. The orangutan signs back. His name is Maurice. Maurice is intelligent, but not loudly or recklessly. He gives Caesar a warning in sign language. Humans know like smart ape. Caesar understands. At the same time, Will is facing another reality. Will finally tells Stephen Jacobs the truth. He used the drug on his father. It worked, until his body adapted and neutralized it. Will believes the treatment needs to be stronger. New trials are approved, broader and more aggressive, tested on other primates. Later in the lab, one of the new subjects displays intelligence far beyond anything they've seen before. Given a marker and a board, the ape writes a single word, Jacobs. He's impressed. The trials continue. Back at the sanctuary, Dodge brings friends through the sanctuary after hours, joking and taunting the cages like a sideshow. They stop at Caesar. One man leans too close. Caesar waits, then lunges, yanking him hard against the bars. It looks like rage, but it's actually calculated as Caesar lifted a knife off of the man. Dodge pulls him free, but the damage is done. When they leave, Caesar opens his cage with the knife and moves through the facility with intent, opening cages one by one, not to unleash the apes, but to assemble them. Chimps first, then gorillas, then orangutans. This isn't chaos, it's deliberate. The apes don't erupt into violence. They recognize Caesar as their leader. Next, we see Will consoling his father in his final moments. He dies quietly. For Will, that's the moment everything collapses. The cure he built his life around didn't save the one person it was meant for. Will returns to the lab changed. He explains that the body adapts, the immune system learns, and pushing the drug further won't solve the problem. It will accelerate it. Intelligence comes with consequences. Stephen Jacobs signs off on expanded trials anyway. Not long after, a chimp handler from Genesis shows up at Will's house, but Will isn't home. The handler looks sick and disoriented, trying to speak. He's interrupted by a neighbor. Mid-sentence, the handler starts coughing and spits up blood, splattering it onto the neighbor, the same one Caesar attacked before. At this point, that guy really can't catch a break. Will goes to the sanctuary and offers the facility director a bribe in exchange for Caesar. The director agrees, but when Will sees him, he no longer sees the curious, affectionate friend he once had. He sees a cold, hardened, guarded version. When Will tells him he can come home, Caesar pauses. Then he looks at Will's hand, at the leash. He's outgrown every cage, even the ones that feel like home. Caesar reaches out and closes the cage door. The consequences of ALZ 113 arrive quickly. The handler who coughed up blood is found dead, and doctors realize the drug doesn't just enhance intelligence. Inhaled by humans, it becomes lethal. Later in the sanctuary, Caesar and Maurice strategize. When a guard opens the exit gate, Caesar memorizes the code. Caesar waits until nightfall. He escapes the sanctuary to Will's house, but not to return home. He steals all of the canisters marked ALZ 113 from the fridge. He returns to the sanctuary and releases the canisters like smoke grenades, flooding the enclosures with inhalable intelligence. Later, we see Caesar alone in the sanctuary after hours. Dodge storms in and tries to shock Caesar. The other guard has a shot but hesitates to tranquilize Caesar, but Caesar overpowers him. He drags Dodge back toward the cells and opens the cages as he moves, releasing the primates. Caesar spares the guard who treated them decently, but Dodge is not given mercy. The apes escape the sanctuary and move through the city, freeing others as they go, from labs, from cages, from places built to keep them contained. They break into Genesis and chase Stephen Jacobs, but he escapes by helicopter. From there, they move through the streets, drawing fear and confusion in their wake, until they reach the San Francisco Zoo. Gates are torn open. More primates pour out, swelling their numbers. What began as an escape is now an army on the move. Police mobilize. Barricades go up. The final stand is the Golden Gate Bridge. Tear gas rolls across steel. Gunfire echoes between the towers as the apes advance. In the chaos, Will pushes his way onto the bridge. He spots Caesar and shouts to him. They lock eyes. But before either of them can move, a helicopter armed with a machine gun drops low over the bridge. The helicopter opens fire. Bullets rip across the roadway, forcing the apes back. Buck, the largest ape, doesn't retreat. He moves to protect Caesar. He charges forward. He scales the bridge structure with brutal speed and launches himself into the helicopter midair. Gunfire tears into him. He holds on anyway. With his last strength, he forces the helicopter downward. It spirals and crashes onto the bridge. Buck is killed, but Caesar is still standing. The line breaks. In the wreckage, Stephen Jacobs is still alive, injured and begging. Koba, a chimp shaped by the worst of Jacobs' experiments, reaches him first. Without hesitation, Koba pushes the helicopter over the edge, sending Jacobs into the bay below. The apes surge across the bridge and leave the city behind. Will knows where to find them. He goes to the redwoods. He finds Caesar in the forest, surrounded by the others. They gather around him the way Rome once gathered around its Caesar. There's no chaos here, no fear, just space.
I'm sorry. If you come home, I'll protect you.
Caesar is home.